Hello everybody, this is my second video that I've done where I figure if Spooky Blue can do it, so can I. If you haven't been to Spooky Blue's website, you ought to go check it out. It's got a lot of good stuff on there, lots of good tutorials and how-tos, a lot of them involving papier-mâché. So what I'm going to try to do today is make a papier-mâché skeleton. Basically what you do, I got here a skeleton. I got it Garden Ridge. It had the screw-on arms, so I was able to just unscrew them. So you cover the skeleton with aluminum foil. The smoother you get it, the better it will be, the more definition you'll get. See, I tried to smooth it out. Should also probably use larger pieces of aluminum foil than what I just did. More like what I'm doing now. So you spread the aluminum foil all out. When you get to the rib cage, you want to get the aluminum foil into the cavity, the empty cavity. Shove it up in there as far as you can, obviously without ripping the aluminum foil. Have a more realistic skeleton look to it then. And once you get the aluminum foil on there, I taped it down because it seemed to want to peel up on the edges. So I found if I took some Scotch tape and taped it down where the different pieces of aluminum foil overlapped, it did a lot better job. So once you get all the aluminum foil on there, it's time to apply the papier-mâché. Not long ago, Scott Stoloween had posted a video where he showed how he does his brush technique when he's making papier-mâché pumpkins. He did it, he zipped right through it, and went real quick, looked real quick, real easy, and I thought, well shoot, I'll try that on my skeleton. So basically what you do is you take your glue mixture. I just use water and Elmer's school glue. Take your chip brush, an old chip brush, or actually a new chip brush, and you put your paste down on what you're going to papier-mâché on. And then once you do that, you start laying your paper strips. And then you take the brush and put the glue on the strips, making sure you get all the edges down. And it works well. It is not nearly as messy as dipping the strips in. I guess I didn't do too bad for the first time trying it. It's only the second time I've done anything papier-mâché since like the 7th grade. I did a skull. My last video I did the papier-mâché skull. So you just keep laying your strips of paper down, working it into, I tried to work it into all the, in between the ribs, the indentations in between the ribs, to give it some definition. When you're doing this, you want to get the papier-mâché strips wrapped around as far as you can on the as far as you can reach on the underside of the skeleton. You want to get the aluminum foil wrapped around as far as you can as well. And one other little tip I'll give you is when you're doing this or working with anything like this, it's probably best to work away from you first and then work your way towards yourself. That way you're not reaching over the skeleton and getting papier-mâché glue all over your shirt as you lean in and do the side that's farthest away from you, because that's what happened to me. Probably the part that I had the hardest part with was the pelvis bone. I did find that it helps if you use smaller strips of newspaper. A lot of the time when I was doing the pelvis, I just ripped the strips I'd already torn in half and used smaller pieces. Once again, when you're doing the pelvis area, you want to get as far underneath as you possibly can. That way when you put the front and backs back together, there won't be any gaps or anything. So it took me about, I don't know, probably an hour and 15 minutes to get one layer of papier-mâché on the front of the skeleton. Using the brush technique actually went pretty good. I found that the more I did it, the more layers I put on the skeleton. Each layer got a little easier. Got each layer done a little quicker. I actually put 2 layers of papier-mâché on the front and let it dry. And so it's time to do the back of the skeleton. So the process is the same for the back. Get your aluminum foil. Wrap the back of the skeleton in aluminum foil. Trying to work it into the spaces between the bones as much as possible. And you want to overlap the papier-mâché that's already been done. Like so. So that way, when you separate the front and the back, take the skeleton out, you can put the two back together, the two papier-mâché molds, if you will, back together. There won't be any seams or gaps noticeable. Take your brush on your glue mixture, lay your strips down, and brush the glue over top of the strips. I did find that you could lay down, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 strips of newspaper and then go all over them all at once. Did make it go a little quicker. I also found that my glue mixture I could reuse as long as I kept it sealed overnight and while each layer was drying. I could come back the next day or even wait, sometimes 3 or 4 days I waited. Open up my glue mixture. I did have to mix it up a little bit because a lot of the Elmer's glue wanted to settle at the bottom of the bowl, so I just took a paint stirrer, mixed it all, got it all mixed back together, and it worked great. I did find too that the first layer of papier-mâché you put down on top of the foil is usually the hardest because it doesn't like to stick to the foil. Sometimes it'll move around more. And once you get the first layer down, your second layer and your third, if you choose to do 3 layers, I only did 2. Seemed to go a lot quicker, a lot easier, just because the paper doesn't want to slide as round as much as it does when you're trying to put it over top of the aluminum foil. This to be more difficult as well, just because there's a lot of odd angles and things going on. I find myself tearing smaller and smaller pieces of newspaper. Sometimes I even tried to make them some triangle-shaped pieces, because it seems just to lay better with all the different nooks and crannies in the pelvis area. So I put 2 layers on the back just like I did the front. Let it dry. So now it's time to separate the front and back. Just carefully peel all the aluminum foil up, find an edge, pull it up. And I tried to rip off all the spare pieces of aluminum foil that were there. Tried to get as much out as possible from inside the skeleton. I'm not sure it really matters. But I figured I might as well try to get it out as much as I could. So once you get all the aluminum foil out of the back of it, you set that aside. It's time to peel the front of the skeleton. So once again, find an edge, peel it off. You do have to be patient. I'm not always the most patient person. I did have one little rip in the spine area, but I was able to fix that once I joined the back and the front together. Put on another couple strips of papier-mâché. So I peeled all the aluminum foil I could out of the front section of the skeleton. So there's the 2 pieces put together, test fitted. Be sure everything went together okay. There you can see where I've ripped the spine a little bit in the back. So I thought I'd take a piece of PVC pipe and give it some more strength down the spine. Plus I was planning on putting the papier-mâché skull I made on the skeleton. So I took a piece of 3/4 inch PVC pipe, took my heat gun, melted the neck area because I want to have a little bend in the neck. Put it in the back of the skeleton. Took my blue-gray stuff, great stuff. That's the kind that doesn't expand as much. And sprayed it in there to hold the PVC pipe in place. And I'll let that dry. it's time to stuff the front of the skeleton. You want to take some newspapers or something and wad them up and stuff it into the rib cage to give the skeleton some added strength to keep it from collapsing and denting. Make it a little bulkier. So just take your newspaper, wad it up, and fill up all the open areas. Again, you want to kind of take your time and be careful so you don't tear it up. Then you join the front and the back together. And I took some masking tape and wrapped it around the spine area and the neck and pretty much everywhere to hold everything together a little better, give it more strength. It also gives you a little better surface to apply the strips of mache to join the front and back together and give them even more strength. So once you get it all taped up, you want to add some strips of papier-mâché around the edges, like I said, to give it more strength. Because you know, I spent about 4 hours making this thing. I surely don't want it to fall apart. So to do this, I instead of using the brush technique again, I just decided just to dip the strips in the glue and put them on. That does seem to me to work a little better for little small things like this. Seems like each little piece of paper gets more saturated with glue this way. Seems to work a little better for me. So you work your way all the way around the skeleton. You notice that this time I started working the point farthest away from me and worked my way around to the part that was closest to me. So once that was dry, I wanted to put my, attach my skull to it. So I took the skull that I made, papier-mâché skull, and I drilled a hole in it through the foam. There's the skull. So I drilled a hole in there, big enough so I could just slide it over the end of the PVC pipe. So once he's done, he'll look something like this with his neck turned to one side. And I'll probably put a eyeball in at least, I think just one of his eye sockets. So I already had that ready to go. So yeah, he'll look something like that. I just need I think I'm gonna make some arms and hands. I don't think I'll make any legs. And get him painted up. Thanks for watching.